The Grand Hall of the Interstellar Alliance had witnessed centuries of tradition, grave deliberations, and dignified silences. Today, however, that silence was shattered by the most unusual of questions. "May I pet your Threk?" Representatives from hundreds of species, each unique and stranger than the last, turned to stare at the speaker Maria Calloway, Earth's recently appointed diplomat. Standing in the heart of the immense chamber, Maria's calm smile defied the astonished murmurs surrounding her. Her question was aimed at none other than Ambassador K. Tarn, a figure wrapped in layers of shimmering obsidian scales, and beside him, his companion, the fierce Threk. The Threk, a legendary predator and galactic symbol of fear, was unlike any creature Earth had ever known. It was twice Maria's height, with coiled muscles under jet-black scales that caught the light like polished armor. The hall fell silent, each representative holding their breath, watching with a mix of horror and fascination. K. Tarn's expression was unreadable, his eyes flashing with shades of crimson and indigo. "Human," he hissed, his voice a blend of curiosity and disdain. "The Threk are not pets. They are warriors, apex hunters. To suggest such a thing is insulting." Maria shrugged lightly, her smile unwavering. "Ambassador, where I'm from, we believe understanding begins with kindness. How can we ever understand each other if we don't try to bridge the gaps between us?" Around her, whispers of disbelief sparked anew. Humans were known for their audacity, but this bordered on madness. K. Tarn's Threk, named Ka-Ran, watched Maria with an intense, unblinking gaze. The creature's claws tapped lightly on the polished floor, the sound sending chills down the spines of even the most seasoned diplomats. Human K. Tarn spoke slowly, as if savoring the word, "Approach if you dare. But no, the Threk is no docile creature. You do so at your own peril." Maria's smile widened, and she took a careful step forward, her hand extended as if inviting a neighborhood cat for a pat. She seemed oblivious to the tension in the room, moving with a confidence that masked the danger she now faced. Ka-Ran's growl deepened, a guttural sound that had paralyzed many a creature in fear. Yet Maria kept moving, her eyes fixed on Ka-Ran's, her hand steady. "Permission to approach," she repeated, her tone soft yet unwavering. For a long moment, Ka-Ran held her gaze, his growl subsiding to a low rumble as he shifted slightly. The entire assembly waited, expecting a violent rejection. But then, inexplicably, Ka-Ran lowered his head, his intense gaze softening. Maria's hand touched the creature's scales, her fingers gliding over the smooth surface as she began to pet him gently. A collective gasp echoed through the hall. K. Tarn's scales flashed in shades of shock and faint admiration as he murmured, How is this possible?" Maria looked up at him, still petting Ka-Ran. "I think it's about trust," she replied softly. "And maybe a little respect. Humans may be new here, but we aren't without our strengths." K. Tarn's astonishment deepened as he stepped forward to study the scene. "You have done what no one else has dared, human. You have earned the respect of a Threk. This is unprecedented." Maria chuckled lightly, still petting Ka-Ran. "Well, I suppose we're friends now, aren't we?" Ka-Ran in response. The Threk let out a soft, rumbling sound that could almost be called a purr. The assembly hall was silent, the weight of the moment settling in. For centuries, the Alliance had been a place of tension and division. But now here stood a human, calmly petting the most feared creature in the galaxy. The possibilities stirred the minds of every representative. As murmurs grew, K. Tarn raised a hand, silencing the room. "Today we have witnessed a new chapter in our understanding of humanity," he declared. "Let it be known that Earth is home to beings of extraordinary courage and compassion. We have much to learn from them." Maria inclined her head respectfully, though her attention remained on Ka-Ran. She had come here hoping to foster goodwill between humans and other species, and now this bond with Ka-Ran had opened a door she hadn't even considered. Discussion soon shifted, and the chamber buzzed with ideas of collaboration. For the first time, the Alliance was united not by politics, but by a shared sense of wonder. Over the next few days, Maria and Ka Ran were called to take part in a series of tests designed to explore the nature of their bond and, perhaps, the potential for other such connections across species. The first test took place in a sprawling forest simulation, deep within the Alliance's headquarters. Maria and Ka Ran were tasked with navigating through a maze of obstacles, each one demanding trust and cooperation to overcome. As they moved through dense foliage, hidden traps, sudden drops, and simulated predators sprang up at every turn. Maria relied on her instincts, but she quickly learned to trust in Ka Ran's superior senses as he guided her through, his sleek body moving with lethal grace. At one point, they reached a chasm spanned by only a narrow and unstable bridge. Maria hesitated, taking in the swaying planks and the dizzying drop below. She looked at Ka Ran, her hand resting on his scaled neck. "Can you carry us across?" Ka Ran, the creature, regarded the bridge with narrowed eyes, then flapped his wings experimentally. With a powerful leap, he launched them both over the chasm, landing smoothly on the other side. Maria let out a laugh of relief, patting Ka Ran's neck. "Good job, partner." From a distance, the assembly watched with a mixture of awe and respect. Even K. Tarn, observing closely, murmured with approval. They work together as one. This bond is far stronger than we anticipated. The second test was a trial of communication. Maria and Ka Ran found themselves in a vast echoing chamber, where shifting walls and hidden passageways created a nearly impossible maze. Only by deciphering sound and light patterns could they uncover a path. Maria knelt beside Ka Ran, her eyes meeting his. "All right, Ka Ran," she whispered. "We need to listen carefully. Let's figure this out together." As they moved, Maria whistled a series of notes, watching as the walls responded with pulses of light. Ka Ran, his ears twitching, picked up the subtlest of echoes, guiding Maria with gentle nudges. They continued, following an intricate dance of sound and light. At one point, Maria found herself at a dead end, frustration welling up. "This isn't working," she muttered. Ka Ran nudged her firmly and let out a series of growls and clicks. Maria's eyes widened. He was imitating the sounds, trying to speak to the walls. She let out a soft laugh. "You're right, Ka Ran. We need to learn their language." Together, they created a symphony of sounds that aligned with the chamber's echoes. Gradually, the walls shifted, revealing the exit. Exhausted but triumphant, Maria and Ka Ran emerged to thunderous applause from the assembly. Even K. Tarn, previously the most skeptical, nodded in admiration. Their ability to adapt and communicate is remarkable. This human has shown that such a bond is not only possible but invaluable. The final trial was the most harrowing. Maria and Ka Ran were dropped onto a barren desert planet, a place of endless sands and brutal sun. Their objective was simple: survive and reach the extraction point. Hours turned into days, and Maria's resourcefulness was tested against the relentless heat and unforgiving terrain. Ka Ran's hunting skills kept them fed, and his powerful wings shielded them from sandstorms. Together, they found shelter in hidden crevices, shared water from scarce oases, and fought off prowling predators. One evening, as they rested under a rocky overhang, Maria turned to Ka Ran with a weary smile. "I couldn't have done this without you, Ka Ran." "You're not just a companion, you're a true partner," Ka Ran rumbled softly in response, curling up beside her. Their bond had deepened through the trials, a testament to what could be achieved through trust and cooperation. Finally, they reached the extraction point, where a shuttle awaited. The assembly members, who had monitored their journey, greeted them with a newfound respect. K. Tarn approached, his scales shimmering in approval. "Human Maria and Ka Ran, you have exceeded all expectations. Your bond is a beacon of hope for our alliance." Maria, weary but proud, nodded. "Thank you, Ambassador. This is just the beginning. Together, I believe we can achieve so much more." The hall buzzed with energy as the discussion turned to the future. Maria's success had sparked an idea: a program to foster similar bonds across the galaxy, bridging divides through mutual respect and understanding. Over the coming years, the Alliance's interstellar bonding program became a reality. Representatives from across the galaxy were paired with creatures unique to their worlds, each bond a testament to the power of unity. The Alliance, once a place of suspicion and conflict, transformed into a beacon of cooperation. One day, Maria and Ka-Ran stood at the edge of the Alliance's main headquarters, watching the bustling activity around them. Representatives from countless worlds mingled, sharing stories and forging connections. Maria looked down at Ka-Ran, a smile in her eyes. "We did it, Ka-Ran. We really did it." Ka-Ran let out a soft rumble, his gaze warm and wise. Together they had changed the galaxy, proving that sometimes the most profound connections come from a simple act of kindness and a shared sense of purpose. As the years passed, Maria and Ka-Ran's influence spread far beyond what they had ever anticipated. The interstellar bonding program had grown from a simple experiment into a celebrated institution. Across the galaxy, unlikely pairs humans and Threk, reptilian shock and feathered Ririans, even the distant crystalline Altha and sentient water-born Nalu were forming connections that transcended cultural boundaries. The Alliance headquarters was no longer the stoic and somber place it once was. Its corridors bustled with lively interactions between species who only a generation before might have been enemies. And at the heart of it all, Maria and Ka-Ran continued to lead, guiding new ambassadors and their companions through the trials, sharing their wisdom, and helping them navigate the challenges of interspecies cooperation. One day, during a particularly crowded gathering at the Alliance headquarters, a young delegate from the planet Phaedra, a thin humanoid with glistening scales, approached Maria. Her voice was low and awed as she addressed the renowned human. "Ambassador Calloway," she began, "I have heard stories of the hardships you endured with Ka-Ran during those early trials. I wanted to thank you. Because of you, my people have found allies we never thought possible." Maria's gaze softened, a gentle smile playing at the corners of her mouth. She reached out to place a reassuring hand on the young delegate's shoulder. "Thank you. But I couldn't have done it without Ka-Ran." She looked down at her steadfast companion, who rumbled in acknowledgement. "The galaxy has changed because we chose to change it together." At that moment, a message flickered across the intercom, echoing through the hallways of the Alliance. It was Counselor K-Tarn, his voice now tempered by years of collaboration with the humans he once distrusted. "All ambassadors are requested to assemble in the main hall immediately for an urgent address. A matter of critical importance has arisen." Maria's brows knitted in concern. Ka-Ran growled softly beside her, sensing her tension. The hall filled quickly as representatives from every species took their places, whispering anxiously to one another. Finally, K-Tarn stepped forward, his form towering over the assembly. "Ambassadors, I have grave news. Our deep space outposts near the Andromeda Expanse have encountered a fleet of unknown origin. They possess technology beyond anything we have seen, and they have made their intentions clear. They do not come in peace." A tense silence blanketed the room, broken only by the quiet murmurs of fear and uncertainty. Maria's mind raced. In all their efforts to unify the galaxy, they had never prepared for an external threat. Ka-Ran pressed closer to her, his gaze as sharp as ever. K-Tarn continued, his voice steady but laced with urgency. "We have attempted communication, but they have ignored all our attempts. Their sole message was clear: surrender or be annihilated." The assembly erupted in shocked voices, panic evident in the faces of even the most battle-hardened representatives. Maria took a deep breath and rose to her feet, addressing the crowd. "We've built something incredible here, a unity between species that once seemed impossible. But that unity is now our strength. Together we can face this threat. This time the galaxy stands as one." Her words resonated with a fierceness that settled over the assembly, igniting a renewed resolve. Delegates nodded, their expressions hardening with determination. K-Tarn raised his hand, silencing the crowd once more. "We have no choice but to defend what we've built," he declared. "Ambassadors, prepare your worlds. We will assemble a coalition. a defense force unlike any seen before. Humanity and its allies will take the lead. Ambassador Calloway Ka-Ran, will you join me in leading this defense? Maria felt a surge of pride and fear. She looked at Ka-Ran, who gave a low growl, his yellow eyes glowing with fierce determination. She turned back to Ka-Tarn, her voice steady. We're ready, Ambassador. We'll lead the coalition together. As the assembly dispersed, preparations began at once. Messages and tactical plans flew between worlds, and every species offered its most skilled warriors, its finest technology, and its unwavering support. From the smallest scout ships of the Avum to the massive war galleons of the Thak-Han, the galaxy's forces began to unite. On the eve of battle, Maria stood in her quarters, gazing out at the stars. Ka-Ran lay beside her, his breathing slow and calm. She knelt down, her hand resting gently on his scales. Do you think we're ready for this, Ka-Ran? This isn't like anything we've faced before. Ka-Ran's gaze was calm yet intense, and with a slow nod he lifted his head, pressing it against hers in a gesture of solidarity. She felt his strength, his trust, and the unwavering bond they shared. It was all she needed. The next day, the coalition forces gathered at the edge of the Andromeda expanse. Ships of every size and shape filled the void, an unprecedented display of galactic unity and strength. Maria and Ka-Ran led the front line, flanked by Ka-Tarn's formidable war galleon and an array of ships piloted by ambassadors they had once called enemies. Each ship bore the emblem of the Interstellar Alliance, a new symbol, a mark of their bond and commitment to one another. As the unknown fleet approached, Maria felt a calm resolve settle over her. She opened a communication channel to the entire coalition, her voice carrying through every ship. We stand together, united by trust and respect. This enemy may be powerful, but they underestimate the strength of a galaxy bound by unity. Today, we show them what it means to stand as one. With a final nod to Ka-Ran, Maria gave the order. The coalition surged forward, a wall of unstoppable force, and the battle that ensued would be remembered as the defining moment of interstellar unity. It was a fierce clash of light, power, and determination, each species bringing its unique skills to the fray. Side by side, allies from every corner of the galaxy fought for their shared home, and it was this unity and unbreakable bond forged from years of understanding that ultimately turned the tide. As the enemy fleet retreated, broken and defeated, a new era of peace settled across the galaxy. They had fought together, bled together, and now they celebrated together. Maria and Ka-Ran's bond had begun as a simple, unlikely friendship, but it had grown into something more, a beacon for a galaxy that now understood the strength found in unity. In the years that followed, the alliance continued to grow, reaching new worlds and fostering new bonds. And at the heart of every alliance, every friendship, and every shared victory was the memory of Maria and Ka-Ran, the human and the Threk who had shown the galaxy that the simplest acts of kindness could change the stars themselves.